Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ari, and today we're going to have some more stories about our toxic life. But before we start, it would be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to my channel, like the video, if you enjoy it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now without further ado, let's go. Today's first story. In the story, OP reflects on their life nearly 2 years after their divorce, which occurred in March 2020. The divorce was prompted by infidelity in their long-term marriage, which had been deteriorating since 2017. Despite initial struggles, they have focused on being a good parent to their 2 children, maintaining a positive atmosphere during custody arrangements. They have also pursued personal growth through therapy, EMDR, new hobbies like cooking, and regular exercise. Unexpectedly, they found a supportive and loving partner, and overall, they feel much happier and more fulfilled post-divorce. They offer encouragement to others going through similar situations, emphasizing the potential for improvement and better days ahead. Now let's get into the story. I'm nearly 2 years removed from Discovery Day and wanted to give an update on how I'm doing and how life has shaken out since that fateful day. My main purpose here is to just shed some insights into post-divorce life. I know that when I started my journey, I was always interested in the update posts out there, and so I'm paying the universe back by posting my own story. A brief recap. March 31st, 2020. My ex and I got into an argument. I saw some shady texts on her phone and confronted her and found out they were from a married male friend of hers that had told her he couldn't wait to see her in his hot tub again, which caused me to freak out. I idiotically believed her. And then I asked her if she was happy, and she replied that she wanted a divorce. I later found out the depths of her infidelity and got the hell out of that life. We were together for 22 years and married for 12 of those years. We had it all. The 2 kids, the house, the stable jobs, and even a couple of cats. It was all gone in the blink of an eye. Looking back now, with the benefit of some hindsight, I can't say the marriage was gone in the blink of an eye. That's not quite honest. Our marriage started to fall apart in 2017, and despite some half-hearted tries on both our ends, it didn't work out. So it was more like the bullet hit in 2017, but the body fell in 2020. There were many nights I went to sleep alone while in the marriage. She'd be working late or at the gym, or hanging with friends. That's the story she went with at the time. And anytime I tried to voice my concerns, she'd get angry or defensive and nothing would change. Then we'd go right back to where we were. Looking back, I don't know why I didn't recognize any of the signs of infidelity, but hey, there's a whole subreddit dedicated to this, and I'm not alone. Member of the club right here, baby. I'm guilty of not being the best spouse. The difference, of course, is I stayed true to my vows and I can look at myself in the mirror and not have that stain on my soul. Her, not so much. It's kind of funny whenever I see a movie or TV show that has an element of infidelity to it. The cheater is never the hero, but always the antagonist. I think to myself, well, ex-wife, that's you have fun watching stuff that lets you relive your nonsense over and over. My main concern throughout this whole ordeal was the children. I've got a 12-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son, and they have been one of the main drivers for me to keep pushing forward and growing to get out of the mental anguish that this brought about. They've been great and have seemed to adapt well to the week-on week-off schedule. We have dinners Taco Tuesday as a highlight, as well as Pizza Friday, where we eat pizza, drink sodas, and watch creature feature movies. Yeah, we watch movies, we play video games, we roughhouse, and we go on trips. I feel like I've stepped up to become the dad they've always wanted. I can say that I was like that during the marriage. I was too consumed by unhappiness. Someone asked if I had told the kids about my ex's infidelity, and when I replied that I had not, I was told that I was lying to the children and that I wasn't doing them any good. I disagreed with that then, and I still disagree with that now. Being a parent to me is about protecting your children from harm the best you can. I believe that this information that mom stepped out on dad is not helpful or good for them. I feel it's mentally harmful at this stage in their lives. Maybe someday they'll find out the truth, but from my standpoint, it's not really something they need in their lives right now. They are still picking up the pieces of their lives. What's the benefit in telling them about the affair? A resentment of their mother? More anger and sadness? In terms of my ex, we only discuss the children. I take the stance of being partners in a business with the business being our children. From that standpoint, things are good. It's cordial and business friendly. However, there's no discussion on personal matters. From my standpoint, I just don't care, and I don't want to be drawn into my ex's life of nonsense. All I know of her is what I hear from our kids. They tell she's dating a man that's 10 years younger than her and that she still has an active social life. As for me, I can confidently say that I'm far better off now than I was when I was married. There's a bit of guilt in saying that, I suppose. Something for me and my therapist to discuss. But I feel alive again, and I haven't felt this good in a long time. Therapy was transformative for me, and I'd recommend it to anyone on the fence. I also did a round of EMDR, and that was amazing to me. I've explored more hobbies, and the one that's really stuck for me is cooking. I love searching the web for recipes and trying new things, as well as hitting up grocery stores and picking up different ingredients. My whole diet has changed, and I'm guessing that has something to do with my mood and outlook on life outside of hobbies and therapy. I've also gotten a lift from physical exercise. I'm usually at the gym 3 to 4 times a week, and that's been great. I have muscles for the first time in ever. It was at the gym that I actually met my now girlfriend. I had no intentions of pursuing anything serious after the marriage for at least a year, but those plans kind of fell apart when I met her. She loves me, loves the kids, and we're a good team together. It's been really nice to have someone in my life that matches my needs and I match hers. I feel very fortunate in that regard. When I started this journey, I felt so alone. It was just me and my kids. My family is the epitome of unsupportiveness, but I was determined to not let this thing make me a worse version of myself. Every day I'm getting better, even on the days when I don't feel like I'm getting better. That's all this is. Really small improvements that add up to a whole new and better life in the long run. Someone said to me that I should strive to look back at this time in life with pride and my head held high. I think for the most part I've done that to anyone reading this. That's just starting out their journey. Or maybe they don't feel like they're where they want to be post-divorce. I hope you can take some solace in my story. It hasn't always been sunshine and beers in the park, but there have been more good days than bad. And even if you have a bad day, it's just one day. Tomorrow's the start to a whole new journey. Today's second story. In this story, OP has been married for 11 years and was initially unaware of any issues in their relationship until a chance encounter with a coworker who complimented their wife. Subsequently, he noticed their wife spending time with colleagues without informing them. Suspecting infidelity, he decided to track their wife's activities using an Apple AirTag and discovered her meeting with a coworker at a hotel where they were intimate. He confronted him at work and revealed the affair to colleagues. Now let's get into the story. I and my wife have been together for 11 years and I thought everything was good between us until recently. For some context, I work as a dispatcher for truckers and it's a pretty good job. I get good benefits and I make enough where we can both be comfortable. My wife had a job with building gaming computers but she lost it due to cutbacks. I've been the sole earner ever since and have been picking up a lot of hours. One day my car battery died on me so I had my wife take me to work and when we made it to the parking lot I saw my coworker Andrew. I waved at him and he walked over to say hello and that was when I introduced him to my wife and she got into the car to shake his hand. He looked at me and said, "You never told me that your wife was so beautiful." She blushed and I laughed, not thinking about it, saying, "Yeah, I'm lucky to have her." And then we both walked into work. After I kissed my wife goodbye. A few days later I was heading to my car for a lunch break and I couldn't help but notice my wife's car in the parking lot. I then walked towards it and saw her and Andrew talking and eating lunch in her car. I got upset but kept it cool and knocked on her window. She opened the door and said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you that me and Andrew were having lunch today together." Then Andrew said, "I hope you're not angry." I took a deep breath and said no, and I turned around and walked to the car because if I said anything else, it was going to start an argument. I could tell my wife was frustrated that I walked away like that, so later that day when I got home, she blew up on me, saying that I embarrassed her in front of Andrew. I told her, "Why do you even care and when did you even start to hang out with him?" She responded by saying, "I'm a grown woman and I don't have to tell you anything." Since then, she has been distant and I noticed she's been on her phone more, calling and texting her friends, but I know that it's Andrew and don't want to accuse her and then get it wrong. Update. I talked to my friend and he gave me an Apple AirTag. I'm going to put it in my wife's car and trail her to see if I can find anything and also collect evidence so I don't get screwed over in court. Quick recap: my wife has been hanging out with my coworker Andrew without telling me, and when I found out, she started getting distant from me, so I suspected that she's been cheating on me with him. When I started to suspect it, my friend gave me his AirDrop and I hid it in my wife's car and then followed her. She told me that she was going to see a friend, but I didn't believe it. So I followed her in my friend's car to make sure she couldn't spot me, and after a 20-minute drive, she drove up to a hotel. During that drive, I felt sick and my heart kept pounding. I was really hoping that I was wrong and she was seeing a friend, but instead, I saw Andrew waving at my girlfriend. And then I saw her running and jumping on this guy, then kissing him. I was so hurt and angry that I wanted to get out and beat Andrew up and then tell my wife to get all of her crap out of the house. Instead, I took my phone out and took some pictures, then drove off. When I saw them walk into the hotel, I went home and cried, then punched a hole in the wall. I was feeling too many emotions at once. I called my friend and went over to his place, then showed him the pictures and started crying again. I screamed. 11 years down the drain. My friend gave me a hug and told me to get a lawyer and to keep stacking up evidence against her. I didn't know if I could keep up the face anymore, but I told my friend I'll try. During these past few weeks I've been stacking up evidence and keeping my distance. I've seen them go to restaurants, movies, hotels, and every time it hurt. But I toughed it out. She always told me she was going out with her friends or family. But I never called her out on it and said okay. I thought I could keep it up for at least a few more days. Especially because the lawyer I'm seeing told me I have more than enough evidence to make sure I win and keep everything when we divorce. But I think I messed up yesterday. Yesterday was my birthday and I wasn't really feeling it. My wife didn't even tell me happy birthday, but her parents did. And when I went to work, my coworkers got me a cake and some gifts. I tried holding back the tears because for a moment I forgot about everything. At least until I saw Andrew. He got me a gift and I faked a smile and said thank you. When I opened it, it was the comic Batman Death of the Family. I was actually surprised because no one at work knew I was into comics and DC was my favorite. When I told Andrew that, he said my wife told him. And then all I saw was red. Next thing I know, my coworkers are holding me back and Andrew is in the corner covering his nose and yelling profusely. Then I screamed, I know you've been screwing my wife. And everyone got silent and then looked at Andrew. He tried explaining it to me, but I didn't care. All I wanted to do was beat him up until he stopped moving. Next thing I know is my boss came in and sent Andrew home, then brought me in his office and I told him everything and then showed him some of the pictures. He apologized to me and gave me some time off to sort everything out and said he will deal with Andrew. When I got home, my wife was waiting and she blew up on me, saying that I was wrong for doing that to Andrew and that she talked him out of pressing charges for hitting him. Then she went on to say, Andrew makes me feel like a real woman and treats me right, and knows how to make me feel special. I had enough and yelled, if he makes you feel special, go live with him and have him support you because I'm done. Then she had the nerve to cry and say that she was sorry. Plus she tried saying how Andrew caught her at a moment of weakness, but I just took a deep breath and told her to get a lawyer because we're getting a divorce. She tried to apologize and said that she can't afford one and that we need to work on us, but I just looked at her and told her to pack up. She kept crying and begging, but I just got her suitcase and called her sister to come pick her up. But she locked herself in the bathroom saying she won't come out until I was willing to work things out with her. I kept telling her that I didn't want to work anything out and we needed space because when I see her I feel angry and hurt. She finally got out and apologized, and then she packed her stuff and waited outside for her sister. Now I'm finally in the house alone and I can't stop crying. I feel so many things and I just don't know anymore. I'm going to see my lawyer tomorrow. Sorry if I was all over the place with my post. I'm just feeling horrible and emotional, but I'm planning on seeing a therapist soon.